Despite some promising signs the pandemic could be slowing in the U.S., cases are still climbing. This morning, the nation is nearing the 500,000 mark. Florida is still seeing its fair share of cases, with more than 16,800 as of right now. 14% of all those who've tested positive have needed to be hospitalized. 371 people have died. The Bay Area now reporting nearly 2,000 cases.
COVID-19 is having a devastating impact on black people. They are dying from the disease at a really high rate. Health Department information shows that the percentage of black people dying is way past the percentage of African Americans living in the state. 8 on your side's Deanne Roberts is live with information on why this is the case. And Deanne, you actually spoke to a doctor at USF. What does he have to say?
Well, it all boils down to some of the disparities within our healthcare system, those being lack of access to healthcare for African Americans and just a higher prevalence of at-risk conditions within that community as well. Now, according to USF's Dean of Pharmacy, chronic diseases like hypertension, diabetes, even asthma are more prevalent in the black community. Those diseases mixed with COVID-19 causes higher death rates. Through the Department of Health, I found blacks make up 18% of COVID-19 deaths here in Florida. And according to the U.S. Census, only 16% make up the state's population. However, the disparity is glaringly different in other states. For example, Louisiana, 70% of people who have died are black there, but African Americans only make up 32% of the state's population. Now, it's not just access to health care that contributes to these numbers. Socioeconomic factors also play a big part.
But African Americans are much more likely in densely populated areas to need public transportation to get to and from work if they've been deemed an essential worker. Now, if they live in a densely populated area, now we're talking about greater contact with other people that may themselves be infected.
Dr. Sneed says these disparities have been obvious. They've been visible for decades, and he's hoping a spotlight on this during this pandemic will lead to some change. I'm live in Tampa this morning. Deanne Roberts, 8 on your side.
And we talk a lot about numbers when it comes to cases and deaths, but each one of those numbers is a member of our community, someone who had family and friends who cared about them. This morning, 8 on your side is learning more about some of the individuals who've passed away from this virus.
She was just one of the kindest, most selfless people you could have met.
So the first victim of COVID-19 in Pasco County was 71-year-old Rosemarie Gabriel of Dade City. Her daughter, Tara, says her mother fell sick in early March, but wasn't sure if she should go to the hospital. Now, when she got worse, her family made sure she got tested for COVID-19. It took 5 days to get those results back, and by then, it was too late. Tara hopes sharing her family's story can save lives.
It could have saved my mother's life if we had been able to get to her sooner and she had been able to get in sooner.
Just because it isn't touching you doesn't mean it's not there, and doesn't mean it's not going to touch you tomorrow, because it could very well.
Rosemarie was laid to rest Wednesday with no family except one sister. Tara says they are planning 2 celebrations of life for her once the pandemic ends.
The time is now 6:05, and the Bay Area is leading the charge to find a way to save patients who are very ill. 2 clinical trials are going on right now at Sarasota Memorial Hospital. The first trial actually involves experimenting with an antiviral drug to see if it will help improve people's critical condition status. The second trial uses antibodies taken from people who have already had COVID-19 and beat it. Now, it's still early on, but we can tell you this. Researchers say if the antibodies trial actually works, it could have a far-reaching impact.
Every one patient who gives plasma can treat up to 4 others. So that's a great multiplier. You have potential of saving 4 other people's lives.
The former patients would need to donate their plasma within 2 weeks of recovering from the virus, and the hospital is working with local blood banks to screen and test people's plasma for the trial.
Now it's 6:06, and new this morning, cruise ships docked during the pandemic will have to stay that way for a little while longer. The CDC is extending last month's no-sail order for all cruise ships for either 100 days or when COVID-19 is no longer considered a national public health emergency.
Well, Universal Orlando won't open anytime soon either. The theme park announces it will be shut down until at least June 1st. Now, that closure includes the hotels and the City Walk. Universal reps tell us that they are watching this COVID-19 pandemic very closely, and they're going to make their adjustments based on the advice of health agencies.
And the virus began and the shutdowns began of restaurants we didn't have to pay you even the last paycheck. But we did.
All right, so this controversial message is sparking some backlash on social media this morning. Karina Toshkin sent the video to her employees at her restaurant, The Getaway Tampa Bay. In a tearful apology, she tells 8 on Your Side the entire thing is being taken out of context.
So, but I know that, you know, they depend on that check. So I just wanted to make it clear that there would be a delay, but that it was coming. And I love these people. These are, it's my team.
Toshkin says she meant they could have laid people off weeks ago, not that they were going to withhold pay for time worked. The video got thousands of comments on social media, and now Toshkin says they've had to close down the restaurant altogether because they're getting death threats. The owner says they're still supporting their staff, and they're even helping them get down payments for apartments and cars.
8 on Your Side is dedicated to finding something good to share with you every single morning. Students often get to feel extra special on their birthday. 8 on Your Side's Meredith Sensulo shows us how teachers are finding creative ways to keep that tradition going remotely.
Pasco County teachers are finding very creative ways to wish their students a happy birthday. From pretending to be on a cruise, nice touch with the washing machine,
Happy birthday, Mustang!
to rounding up their pets, to providing their own favors, teachers are making sure all of their students get the recognition they deserve on their big day. Unfortunately, cake's not included. And kids, take note, this year your birthday will be one for the history books. Right, history teachers? A birthday, that's always something good. So if it's your birthday, have a good one.